Today, I'm going to be making a Cherry Bakewell Cake. This is from Hermione, it says. It's under 4 scrumptious cakes. So there's 4 other ones you can make. I chose to make the Cherry Bakewell Cake. This is from the Unofficial Harry Potter Cookbook, and Georgianne sent us this, so thank you very, very much to Georgianne. This recipe is divided into 3 sections. We have the actual almond cake section, and then butter frosting, and then to finish the cake. So the ingredients you're going to see right now are just for the cake itself. So you have 1.5 cups of flour, 1/2 cup of finely ground almonds, which I bought the toasted and sliced, and I will grind those up. I'll show you in just a minute how I'm going to do that. 1 teaspoon baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon salt, 1.5 sticks of butter at room temperature, 1 cup sugar, 3 eggs at room temperature, 1 teaspoon almond extract. It's hard to see, it's kind of clear in that little bowl. And 1/2 cup of whole milk at room temperature. You want to preheat your oven to 350, and you want to grease 2 8-inch pans. I use the Baker's Joy, and you want to cut some parchment paper to line the bottom and stick that right there in the bottom. And then we're going to set these to the side, but those are ready to go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to, I have this little mini chopper, and it's a Pillsbury mini chopper, and I've had this forever. If you're interested in one of these, if you do a search for mini chopper, there's no telling what brands you'll come up with now. I don't even know if Pillsbury still makes this, but I'm going to put my almonds in there. This is a lot easier to clean than the whole food processor. So I'm going to grind these up until it's almost powder. That looks really good to me. I like the size of that. And like I said, this is so easy to clean. It's like you have to clean like 3 things: the lid and the container and the blade. I'm sure they're all like that. So now you want to take your flour, your baking powder, and your salt, and your ground almonds. And you're just gonna whisk these together in a bowl like this, and you're gonna set this aside. So now you need your mixer, and a hand mixer is fine. This is just easier. Take your butter and sugar, and you are going to mix this together until it's light and fluffy. You may have to scrape down the bowl in between the mixing time. Then you want to add your eggs one at a time. At this point, you're going to add your almond extract. Okay, so at this point, all you have left is your milk and your flour mixture. We're going to put a little at a time in the bowl. Add some milk and then add some flour. Add some milk and add some flour. Make sure that you end up adding the flour last. So I'm going to add some flour first. Just want to take your paddle and just mix it a little bit, fold it in together, it says, and then take this and evenly distribute it between your 2 baking pans. we're gonna let these bake for 25 minutes. When they come out after 25 minutes, I will show you how they look. I baked these for exactly 25 minutes and took them out. You want to leave them in the pans for 10 minutes and then turn them out onto your wire rack. So now I'm going to show you the ingredients for both the butter frosting and to finish the cake. So for the butter frosting, you need 2 sticks of butter at room temperature, 2 cups of confectioner sugar, and I just left this out to show you. We just buy Great Value Walmart brand powdered sugar. 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, 2 tablespoons of whole milk, and then to finish off the cake, you need a half a cup of cherry preserves, and we just bought the Smuckers, and that's a half a cup. You need maraschino cherries, and you need toasted sliced almonds for decorating, and that's what we used for the inside as well. So for the frosting, you beat all the frosting ingredients together. So butter, sugar, vanilla, and milk. This is our frosting. It's very fluffy, but it's also thick. It's dense. So you want to take one side of your cooled cake, and notice I took the parchment paper off the bottom, it peeled right off the bottom, and put it the top side down on whatever plate. You can use a dinner plate if you want to assemble this. And then you want to take your cherry preserves and spread it over the top. Says to spread it all the way to the edge, and this has hunks of cherry in it, which I'm sure all cherry preserves is like that. So if I don't have enough, then I will just use more, because I measured out a half a cup, but just doesn't seem like that much to me. I don't think it'll hurt it to use more for sure, but I think you need a little bit more. I think you could have even put a whole cup on there and it wouldn't have hurt it. But I like mine stuff super sweet too. So now this next side, you're gonna flip it over, and the top is gonna be up. And then you're gonna take your frosting and you're gonna go over just the top of the cake. I have to say about this cookbook is there are no pictures. There's no pictures in the cookbook to show you what it's supposed to look like. So we're completely dependent on their directions. I'm going to read you the directions, and then everybody can form their own opinion. This says that you put the remaining frosting in a bag, which it said piping bag. I'm using a Ziploc bag, and I'm going to do it that way. Then it says line the inside, place the remaining frosting in a pastry bag fitted with a star tip and pipe a border around the edges of the cake. So, the edges of the cake, is that just here? But it said edges. Does it mean the bottom? Does it mean this middle part? Does it mean just around the top? We don't know, because we don't know what this is supposed to look like. So, I'm gonna at least do it around the top and see how it looks. And I'm just gonna take off a little bitty bit. figured the rest of my frosting out. I've decided I'm gonna frost the whole outside of the cake. So, this could be a big mistake.
Well, there's plenty of it.
But there's so much frosting that I'm gonna do around the edges as well. And we're just gonna go for it. And you know what? This is my cake, and I can decorate it the way I want, right? So I don't know what a traditional Bakewell cake is supposed to look like, but this is gonna be...
One disadvantage for this cookbook, that's for sure.
Yeah, this is gonna be the Tammy version. See, I had enough frosting for all of it, so now I'm just gonna decorate it the way that I want to. It said to put the maraschino cherries around the outside. I'm gonna get some of that juice off of them.
Around the border.
Around the border.
1 inch apart.
Supposed to take your almonds, and these are like I showed you, toasted and sliced, so you don't have to toast them yourself, and just scatter these over the top. And you can also scatter them over the on the sides if you want, like if you have any bare parts that if you didn't have enough frosting left over, you could definitely coat the whole side if you wanted to. And I'm gonna cut into it. Sweet revenge. The summer that Uncle Vernon and Aunt Petunia put Dudley on a strict diet. Harry revels in his knowledge of the good food hidden upstairs in his room while Dudley starves in the kitchen. When Harry informs his friends of the severe diet imposed on the whole family, they loyally send him fabulous birthday cakes. So this was one of the cakes. The Cherry Bakewell. Yeah, this is from Hermione, the Cherry Bakewell Cake. So what book was that from? That was from Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, chapter 3. So I'm very excited about this. Kevin has done 2 recipes on Bakewell tarts. One of them, the thumbnail has a picture of a Bakewell tart, and the other one had a picture of Trader Joe's almond flour. I wish I had made the thumbnail a picture of that Bakewell tart as well, because that is actually the best Bakewell tart that he's made.
It's very good. The bottom's better than the top.
Wow. Now, why do you say that?
Because it's got all that preserves on it. Mm-hmm.
That is incredible.
Eating the cherry preserves with just the cake on the bottom.
That is delicious.
It reminds you of eating something like a little
Mr.
cake.
Kipling.
A little cake with like a cherry jam on it or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's very, very good.
Mm-hmm. You could make the cake and not even do the icing.
You could.
And just put the cherry preserves on it and call it a day.
Yeah, because it's really, really good.
And I love the pieces of the almond. We didn't use like almond flour, you know, we ground up the almonds.
Hold on.
And so you get those little bits in there, which is excellent.
So you don't have to dig down to take a little bite of that with the preserves and the frosting.
You mean the whole, like that?
Where you get the cake, the preserves, and the frosting, that's the best bits. Because you had thought, Tammy thought about putting preserves on top of the frosting on the top.
I did.
That would have been, like, that's the best flavor in it.
It's delicious. So you think I should have put it on top?
I think you should have put the frosting on the very top and then put preserves in the middle. I don't know how you could do it. Maybe it would be good if you put it in a piping bag and you could have piped the preserves on top of the frosting where you wouldn't have to spread it.
Right. Well, that's why I did my frosting before I decided to do the sides. That's why I did it that way on top.
You were going to make a wall.
Because I was going to make a well in the middle, and I was going to put a bunch of cherry preserves in the middle, just to add some red to the top. But I do think it turned out beautiful.
Oh, it's still really, really good. It does look good. But the best bites when you get the strawberry preserves, the cake, and the
cherry preserves.
Yeah, the cherry preserves. What else? You keep saying strawberry because that's what I like. A strawberry.
Kevin usually eats strawberry. That's why he says strawberry, but he means cherry. It's a wonderful cake, though, isn't it? Yeah, it's delicious.
It's a very light, airy cake too. So.
And these are flavors that oftentimes they're Bakewell tart. The whole idea of Bakewell isn't an American thing. So I really would love it if some of you all, some of the Americans watching this, would try your hand at this, because it's absolutely delicious. If you like the flavor of almond and cherry at all, you would absolutely love this.
Which almond's pretty much cherry anyway.
Yeah, and if I can do this, anybody can do it. Trust me.
It's good.
So, yes, absolutely delicious. I would totally make this again and again, though. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.